even if you are not being paid. Because I was a student that asked the question here, was asking the lecturer how much they pay lecturer and all that. You should not be interested about the pay. What you should be interested in is something you have passion. Once you identify what you have passion and you can do it very well, I can assure you that success is inevitable. I don't know if I'm talking to the right people. Okay, let me ask, how many of us want to be a banker? Do you have them? Are we talking to the wrong people? Oh, so everybody want to be a lawyer, medical doctor? Do you have bankers there? Okay. Thank you so much, because I can assure you as a banker, both the lawyers, the medical doctors, the engineers, they must consult you. Because all the money they will be making, you will be the one that will advise them on where to keep the money, on what to do to make more money. As bankers, you are a big consultant. Everybody must consult you. As a banker, let me talk about the professional bodies you will need to join as a banker. One thing is, irrespective of the course you study, whether it's engineering, science, chemistry, physics, whatever you study, once you're a banker, you're expected to at least have one of the following. One, you must be at least a member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN. You must be a member of at least the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, or you must have be a member of Nigerian Institute of Management, NIM. You can as well be a member of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM. You also have opportunity of being a member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, that is ICANN. It's very, very important. Or you can be a member of Chartered Institute of Administration, CIA. So these are the professional bodies that you must join as a banker, irrespective of the courses that you studied in your university. Then what are the job prospects? In banking, we have different departments. We have the marketing department. These are the personnel that go out to bring in prospect customers to the bank, bring in new businesses to the bank, avail credit facilities to customers or companies that need loan. We also have the funds transfer units. These are the personnel that are involved in transferring of funds from one bank to the other. We have the customer service unit. They are involved in opening of accounts, welcoming customers to the bank, and all that. Then we also have the tellers. We call them cashiers. They are the ones that pay in cash and accept deposits to the bank. Okay, so let me round off. In a few minutes, I want to tell us that for you to be a banker, you must be a very honest person. If you are not honest, you cannot work in the bank. If you are not honest, people will not trust you with their money. So you must be honest, very, very honest. Because if you are not honest, when people give you money that is not yours, there's every tendency that those money will not be safe. So for you to choose to be a banker, you must be a very honest person. If you are not honest, banking is not your career. So you have to be very, very honest for you to be a banker. Finally, I will tell you that whichever career you choose today, the most important thing is have passion for what you do. Once you have passion, success is inevitable. Okay. That's all. Thank you so much. Or do you have any question?
afternoon, sir. Like what the lecturer said before he left, he said, like, for example, he's a doctor and you are teaching. Like, they call you in the hospital for an emergency and you go to the hospital, you cannot leave without taking permission. So he said that for bankers, you have to take permission from their manager first of all. So if you take permission, if you leave without taking permission from your manager, will you be sacked or you will lose your job?
Okay, thank you so much. Banking is a very disciplined profession. Very, very disciplined. In banking, you have what we call your annual leave. Annual leave. In a year, at least you are, depending on your level, some persons have 20 days annual leave, 25 days, 30 days. So if you have situation, maybe you have something that you want to do, it is advised that you apply for leave so that you can go and do that. But in case of emergency, you have an emergency, you have something that you need to attend to that is very, very important. Once you discuss with your manager will give you the necessary permission to go and do that. But you cannot just leave the bank without your manager knowing your whereabouts. Thank you. Okay, do you have any other question? Is there another one? Okay, there's someone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, if you are a banker, for example, and someone give you money, and you misplace the money, and the person is asking for the money, what are you going to do?
Okay, thank you very much. Said if you're a banker and someone gives you money and you misplace the money, that you're a banker does not mean that people will come and give you money for you to hold. No. Once you have a customer, you open account for that customer. If the customer wants to pay in money into the account, the customer will either transfer money to the account or go to the bank to pay in money. It is not your job as a banker to go and collect money from customers. No. It is against the banking ethics. The customer should go and transfer money by themselves or pay money into the account. So you are not supposed to collect money from customers. I don't know if that answers the question. So you are not supposed to collect money from customers that is not your own. But if by peradventure you collect money from customer, that money must be paid into the customer's account. There's no excuse. Don't say the customer is giving you money, the money, no. There's no room for that. Do you understand? You cannot even go to customers' company to go and collect cash. No. Customer should be the one to go to the bank and pay in the money or transfer the money. So you are not supposed to come in contact with collecting customers' cash. Okay, do I have another question? Okay, that lady one.
Good afternoon, sir. So I want to ask a question concerning that restriction of return. Sir, concerning the restriction, bankers' restriction, it said that bankers. Okay. It said that bankers normally resume work by 6 or so, then go very late at night. So I also heard that bankers have targets. They must have a minimum number of customers added to the bank and stuff like that. So what is actually a banker's individual aim? Sorry. And the banker's individual aim. I was told that if you don't reach that target, you may be sacked. Do you get me, sir?
Okay, let me rephrase. You said you learned that bankers have to resume by 6 and close very late, and the bankers has targets that if you don't meet the target, that you'll be sacked. Okay, the question is clear. As bankers, I told you that banking is a very, it's a profession that you have to be a professional. It requires integrity. So if you work in the bank, especially if you work in the marketing department, there is always a target. That is always the target. And the essence of giving those targets is to drive you. is to drive you. For instance, if they are telling you that in a month you are supposed to open 1,000 accounts in a month, at the end of the month you were able to open 550 accounts. It means you didn't meet the target of 1,000 accounts per month, right? In Zenith Bank, nobody will sack you. But what they will tell you is that you didn't meet your target for this month. For next month, you need to work harder to ensure you meet your target. So they will not sack you because you failed to meet your target. But I can assure you that if you know what you're doing, if you have passion for banking, and the bank have given you all the necessary support you need, I can assure you that you will not just meet that target, you will surpass the target. Okay, sorry, my colleague wants to ask something.
I want to add something. In life in general, you cannot attain any height if you don't set targets for yourself. As an individual, where I am today, I had set this target for myself over 10 years ago. You must set targets for yourself that by 2020, I must have achieved this. By 2022, I must have achieved this. Everything in life has a target. Even if you are doing a personal business, if you don't set targets for yourself, you will not achieve anything. You must set targets for yourself, and that is the principle of the bank. Because if you don't set targets for yourself, you will not move. You will just remain in one place. Even God gave himself a target. He gave himself from the beginning of the day when he was creating the world. He said, on the seventh day, I will rest. So everything has a target. So in life, you must set targets for yourself so you can achieve. You can say by 50 years, I would have finished working. I want to be resting. By 50 years, I would have had such and such and such and such. In the next 5 years, I want to be here. I want to be there. So everything in life has a target. So in the bank, in general, targets are given to drive you because the banks, they want to post profits. They want to be seen that they are moving. And truthfully, Nigerians have more people that don't have accounts than people that have accounts. The population of Nigeria, more people don't have accounts. In general, the accounts we have in Nigeria, they have over 50 million accounts. Those 50 million accounts, more than 25 are the same BVN. That means that 25 people have accounts, maybe one in Zenith, one in UBA, one in GTB, like that. So targets are given so that you can run, so that you can put a certain mark for yourself. So in Zenith Bank, I will speak for my bank. If you don't meet your target, they will not sack you. They will only tell you need to do more. They will appraise you and say, okay, on these indices, you have done well. On these indices, you didn't do well. In general, this is how well you have performed. And they will usually compensate you. When the bank has declared a certain amount as profit, you will get something. When the bank is increasing salaries, you will get something. When the bank is promoting, you will get something. So targets are meant to drive you. Thank you.
Good day, sir. I have a question. It goes like this. As the lawyer began his speech today, he asked for those who would like to be millionaires as a profession. He added that we must not put forth money making as a reason for going into a profession. Today we have Yahoo and G-boys, those who specialize in internet frauds. What is the bank doing in connection with the government to curb and discourage young people from those easy money making ventures?
Okay, did I get you right? What is the bank doing to stop the Yahoo boys, right, from getting access to...
Yeah, with their money-making ventures.
To customers' accounts, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, what bank is doing to ensure that, for instance, the Yahoo boys talked about, one area they usually use to defraud people is through the online banking processes, like your ATM card, your internet banking, and your mobile app. That is where the Yahoo boys usually get to people. So what the bank is doing is that when banks give you an ATM card, the ATM card has a security chip that is very difficult for anybody to clone. And then the bank will also give you a 4-digit PIN that 4-digit PIN is just for you. It's not for another person. So the bank will advise you, do not disclose your ATM PIN or the PAN number. That's the numbers on the back of the ATM card. Don't disclose it to any of these fraudsters. And we also tell them that the bank will not call you any day to ask you for your BVN number or your debit card, because we have such information. So what the bank is doing is that we are creating more awareness and also telling the customers that they should not disclose their ATM PIN and the PAN number. Then when we give internet banking, we also give you a token. The token is an additional security to your PIN, so that if someone has access to your PIN, and then, because there are some customers that sometimes they want to use their date of birth as a PIN, and that one is easy to get. So we advise them, don't use your date of birth as your PIN. Don't use any of your child date of birth as your PIN. So what we do for the online banking, we give them a hardware token, so that in case if the fraudsters have access to the PIN, if they don't have the token, they cannot transfer any money from your account. But generally, this is the awareness. We are trying to create awareness, and we'll be doing that so that the fraudsters will not have access to customers' account.
Just one thing I just want to add is, the banks, we work with federal government and regulatory agencies like the CBN, the EFCC, the NFIU, EFCC is Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, NFIU, Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, and other special control unit against money laundering. We have several regulatory agencies the banks work with. Now, when we open accounts for people, we open accounts for different kinds of people. Some have negative intentions and negative tendencies to steal money from people. If money is coming to accounts that we are not sure of the customer's business, because it's expected that if this person is a lawyer and he has a chamber and he goes to court, if money is coming, we know this is where the money is coming from. If the person has a church, is a pastor, we know, okay, these are offerings and tithes and these are where the monies are coming from. If the person is a business person, he sells building materials or whatever the person is into in general, we know that this is where the money is coming from. So if somebody fraudulently transfers money into an account, is unknown to us. It is different from the person's line of business. Imagine a student that is supposed to be in school is receiving a very huge amount of money, or in general, monies that we are not sure where they are coming from. The onus is on us to hold the funds and call the customer, this money that came into your account, investigations are on. Where is this money coming from? By so doing, we are helping the government to reduce those kind of fraudulent things, because if the person does that and he knows that there was an eye on it, if the person eventually tells, oh, sorry, my sister or my uncle or my brother transferred such and such an amount, who sold a parcel of land, or okay, this is where the money is coming from, then those kind of things will prompt people from not doing fraudulent transactions. So we help the government. There are certain amounts that come in, but regulatory agencies expect us to report such funds by default to CBN. There are certain amounts that come in foreign currencies. By default, those funds are reported to CBN. So we encourage people not to involve in such Yahoo, 419 or drug or all those kind of things. Because of our stance, some of those things have greatly reduced. Thank you.
Thank you, please. A round of applause. A round of applause. Okay. It's like we still have one.